to my channel. So you're on Crime Stories with Linda, and this is Linda Camara. So please, if you've not subscribed, please try to subscribe and click on the notification bell so that anytime I post, you'll be able to see my post. So today we are going to talk about a very heartbreaking story, a story of a teenage girl that orchestrated the murder of her family. So this case, it's so heartbreaking, like for a young girl to do something like that. And this also like affected her own life. She would have to like spend the like productive years of her life in prison. So this is a very heartbreaking story. Most times family mothers, even before I started my YouTube channel watching true crime stories, I don't usually like to like watch it. Most times if I watch it, I will cry so much that I will think about it. What would make someone do something like that? What would be the motive of doing something like that? You know. And most times when family mothers occur, it's usually from like a family member. It would be a family member that will orchestrate it. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know the thought patterns of the people that actually do this type of things. But today we are going to, I can't believe I'm treating it. I can't believe I'm telling a story on family mothers, but we have to discuss about it. So today we are talking about Erin Caffey. So this girl, she grew up in Alba, Texas. So we're talking about Erin Caffey. She grew up in Alba, Texas, in a small rural town that has like a little over 400 people. I think it has like 492 people living in that town. So it's a pretty close-knit community. So the father was a preacher, the father was a minister in a church. So, and they were just a very religious family. And the mom and the dad, they were trying to like groom those children to be very religious and to like know God and live by his word, something like that. So these kids, when they were going to school, at first they were attending a public school, and as they were going to the school, one of the days, Erin was on the hallway in school, and one of the girls in school just walked up to her and kissed her on the lips. So when she came home, excited kids, she told her parents, and the mom was like, she was against it. She said she doesn't want her children to learn, be in an environment that will like make them learn some things like that. So she like pulled them out of the school and started homeschooling them. And while she was homeschooling them, she too had a little business by the side, and their dad also was doing business and in that Alba, Texas, and he also like preaches in church. So they were all very religious, and even Erin ministers in church as in the choir. And people say that whenever she sings, people are like, most people cry, people like feel it very deeply. And she was a good girl growing up. But when in that 2007, the mom, when Erin was 15 years, the mom felt okay. She needed to release them to like go back to school. And then Erin also got a job in Sonic Food, one of the food chains there. So she started working at that Sonic Food. When she was working there, she met 18-year-old Charles Wilkinson. So they both, when they met, they both like, teenage attraction. They fell in love and started dating each other. And at first, the Erin's parents didn't really say much about the dating. And at that time, Erin and her brothers had gone back to school. They had gone back to public school. The mom was no longer homeschooling any of them. So Erin like was dating this her boyfriend, and while dating him, they were like so much in love, and the thing was moving fast and becoming more intense. So Erin's mom like came across Charles' MySpace page So when she came out, when she came across that page, she found out that Charles was posting things on sex and profanity, and she, being that she is very religious and she didn't want her children to like relate with those kind of things, so she started telling Erin that she doesn't like her relationship with this her boyfriend Charles. So Erin would tell her, because Erin is like a girl that pretends a lot, so, and she lies a lot. So she would tell the mom that that she doesn't want, no, she no longer wants to be in a relationship with Charles, that she too would want to like break it up with him, so that she would break up with him. So but the mom continued telling, but they kept going out even in church. Sometimes after church they will like stay somewhere and be making out in church, and church members will be reporting to her parents, be Penny or Terry is the dad and Penny is the mom, will be telling Terry that this is what Erin is doing in church, and she was getting different reports, and most times Erin would sneak out of the house and go and meet Charles, and both of them would like go out and maybe they were just the mom was against the relationship. So sometimes Charles would come to their house and stay till like dinner, and would have to leave the house like around 9 o'clock. So he will come, and not that he like respects or behaves the way Terry and Penny would want like their daughter's boyfriend to behave. So they were really against that relationship, and at the time Charles took her mom's engagement ring, because Charles was staying with his stepmom and the dad. So she took her mom's engagement ring and brought and gave to Erin as a promise ring. And when the mom saw that promise ring, she said she told Erin that she doesn't want, but that she should give it back, in fact, and that she doesn't want them to continue this relationship. She was like always complaining about that relationship, and even Terry did that too. So they were both like against her having a boyfriend now, and that she should maybe focus on her studies and get to an age maybe 18 before she would have a boyfriend. And Erin, being a teenager, did not really listen to her parents, and she would come and pretend to her parents that she want to go come out of the relationship with Charles, that is Charles that is holding her back. Then she would go to Charles and complain so badly about her parents, to the extent of like suggesting that she would want her parents to dead, that she would want Charles to kill her parents. No, tell him stuff about how that she doesn't like them, she wants them dead. She will say it during conversation and chats with him. He would text it to him, at that time 2007, 2008. So this thing continued, and on February 28th, 2008, they started planning to kill Erin's parents like a month before it actually happened. So they've been discussing about it. Charles Wilkinson even like contracted Charles Way that he would pay him $2,000 if he's able to like kill Erin's parents, because Erin had already told Charles Wilkinson that in their parents' safe, that they have like $2,000 or more inside their safe. Even gave Charles the combination to her parents' safe. So they were planning this. He had even, yeah, and then Charles Wade, maybe he doesn't have a car, so she told his girlfriend Bobby Johnson that she would be the one, she would be the getaway driver for them. That if they go and commit this crime, she would be the one that would drive them to and fro from the fruit there. So this was all happening, and Erin's parents were living their life as if that they didn't know what was happening. So they were just living life. They didn't know that people were planning their deaths and setting dates setting dates of their deaths. So on 28th of February 2008, the Charles Charles Wilson, and Bobby Johnson. They all came to Erin's house in Bobby Johnson's car, and when they got there, their dog, Erin's dog, was outside barking. So that actually, like, distracted them from what they wanted to do, and it made them leave. So Erin, as they were leaving, Erin was like calling Charles, the boyfriend, and asking him, why didn't you people come in? That she would have been able to like hold the dog and like try to keep make the dog stop barking. That why did they leave? Why did they leave? She actually called Charles for 6 times that night. So, and when told her that it was a dog, she was saying that she could have been able they could have called her they should have called her, that she would have been able to make the dog stop barking. And she came out, she snuck out of the house and met them at the cemetery close to their house, and they were discussing it will not pass the next day, that they will have to commit this crime. She was telling them that it should not pass that March 1st, that they should try to, that they will have to do this. And while they were discussing, Charles, the boyfriend, asked her, what of your brothers? How we what that I think that we should also kill them when we are killing your parents, so that there will be nobody alive to bear witness to the people that actually committed this crime. She said she doesn't care as long as there is no other person there to control her, and she doesn't care what happens to them, to her younger brothers. So, and this was their plan. And on 1st March 2008, this trio, Bobby Johnson, Charles Wilkinson, Charles Wade, plus Erin had to like follow them this time around. So Erin and Bobby, they stayed inside the car, while the both Charleses, the two murderous Charleses, went into the house. And when immediately they opened the door, the door handle slammed on the wall, and Penny and Terry woke up. So when they had that sound, we were just waking up from sleep, and you hearing those noise, that kind of sound. They didn't know where it was coming from. They didn't know what was really happening. And then these two people busted into their room, and they shot uh, Penny. And when they shot her, it's as if the gun jammed. And then they had a samurai sword. This samurai sword that we usually see in Japanese movies. But I know those ones that they are using in the movies, they are props. But those Japanese samurai swords, they are very, very sharp. So they used it to stab. They used it to stab Penny, and on the neck, until she was almost decapitated. So they shot Terry 5 times all over his body. Then they left. Then they went into as they were trying to like go into the rooms. They met Matthew. Matthew is a 13-year-old younger brother of Erin. And when they met him, Matthew was like, Charles, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Then Charles pointed the gun at him to shoot him. He was saying, Charles, no, and Charles pulled the trigger and shot him on the head, and the guy died instantly. Then the 8-year-old Tyler was hiding in the closet. Maybe when he heard all these sounds, so he hid inside one of the closets, and they went there and opened the closet, pulled him out, and both of the two murderous Charleses, stabbed him many times. They stabbed him and he died. As in, stabbed him many times. I don't know how many. And he died instantly too. So then they started pulling out blankets from different places in the house, and lit the house lit the house on fire. And when the house started burning, they left. They came out joined Erin and Bobby in the car and zoomed off. Then they didn't know that Terry was still alive. So Terry crawled out of that burning house. He was very determined to be able to like tell the police because he knew that it was Charles. He saw Charles. So he wanted to be alive to tell the police who the person uh, that committed this crime. So he crawled 300 yards, that's 900 feet, to his neighbor's house. 300 yards, you know how long it is? 900 feet. So even like crossed a creek, a body of water. He went into that water, almost drowning. He crossed the creek and came onto the other side and continued crawling until he got to his neighbor's house. When he got to the neighbor's house, the neighbor was very shocked to see him because his whole body was full of blood. And then the neighbor, he told the neighbor to call 911 that he has been shot. So when the neighbor called 911 and told him that someone has been shot, and told them that someone has been shot, at first the 911 operator was asking him, was he the one that shot him? He said no. And in fact, I listening to the 911 operator, the one the video I saw online. I even got angry at the questions the 911 operator was asking, but I later got to know that it was routine questions that 911 operators usually ask. But so when but they told you that someone is dying and he's been shot, I don't know why they should be asking all those questions, because he was asking a lot of questions. But I figured he had the operator had already told signal police officers, and police officers arrived at the scene and took Terry to the hospital. At that time he had fainted. Then they got to the house trying to like save the other people born him, but they found out that all of them were already dead. So they took Terry to the hospital, and when he came to, he was able to tell them that Charles Wilkinson was the person that committed this crime. So the police, that night of the crime, that night of that crime, that first of that particular day of that crime, because this crime happened on by 3 a.m. in the morning of March 8th. So that same day they were able to arrest Charles Wilkinson, and Charles Wilkinson told them about Bobby Johnson and Charles Wade. They were all rounded up. And then when they got to like came to search, because they got a search warrant to search Charles Wilkinson's house. He was staying in a trailer, and his house was like that a hoarder's den. If you've watched all these hoarders show on TV or on YouTube or Facebook, anywhere you've watched it, must have watched it, you see how how hoarders houses looks. That's how Charles Wilkinson's trailer looked. So everyone was just piled up with different kind of things. So the police were like pulling things, trying to like look for the evidence, look for things that they were looking for. And they saw blonde hair and like fair skin. So they were like, they thought it was a mannequin. So they tried to like pull it out, pull the mannequin out, and they saw a set of eyes like blinking, looking. They now knew that it was a human being. The human being is Erin. So Erin was blinking and acting confused. They asked her what happened, because they didn't know what happened to her. Nobody knew what happened to her. So she told them that people came to their house and killed her family, and then took her, kidnapped her. So she doesn't know what happened, and they lit her house on fire. That the house was burning when they took her out of that house. They checked her body. There was no sign of any any injury. There was no sign of anything. So they tested her. I think they tested her lungs or something like that, and found out that she was not near near the vicinity of burning, anything burning, really. So, and when they were going back to the police station, she was telling the police all these things, all these lies. The police actually believed her because they didn't have any or any reason not to. So, but after when they came to the police station and they put them in different rooms and they were questioning Charles Wilkinson. He was the one that told them that Erin was really the main perpetrator of all this. She was the one that orchestrated this particular crime. The police at first they couldn't believe it, but when they explained and also saw the text messages that Erin had been sending to Charles, her boyfriend, they actually came to the realization that Erin was like the mastermind of this crime. So they promptly arrested her. Then they questioned her. She was denying it. She was denying and denying and denying. All the other three perpetrators continued saying that Erin was the main perpetrator of the crime. She was the one that orchestrated it. She was the one that told them the combination to her father's safe. She was the one that, the fact they told the police everything that happened. So Erin kept, even till now, Erin is still denying it because I watched her interview with Piers Morgan and she was still denying it during that interview. I watched her Dr. Phil's interview. She was still denying it. So during the trial, it was in court. Erin's former boyfriend Michael Washburn came and testified against her. She said that when they were dating, Erin Erin told her that she would want to kill her parents, and so that they will be able to like free her because her parents were also complaining of her relationship with Michael. So that she would want them, she wishes that, in fact, that she would want them to die. So Michael came and testified against her, and that was, in fact, that testimony was really what opened everybody's eye to Erin's that Erin was capable of masterminding or orchestrating something like that. So she was sentenced to 40 something years imprisonment. I don't really know the particular, whether it's 43 or 42, I don't know, but she was sentenced to 40 something years imprisonment, and she would be eligible for parole when she's 59 years old. She was 16 when this crime happened. She would be eligible for parole when she's 59. Then Bobby Johnson was sentenced to 40 years imprisonment. She would be eligible for parole when she has served 20 years. Then Charles Wilkinson was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Charles Wade was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. So both of them will be in prison till till they die. They will never be out of prison. So, so that is it. Erin was given that kind of sentence even though she didn't like pull the trigger, because she was the mastermind, or because all the other people said that she was the mastermind, and someone also came out to testify, and her text messages too. So that was why she was sentenced to 40 something years, and Bobby was sentenced to 20. And the thing is, the whole thing about this is, for Bobby, I don't even know what she would be saying, because she had a boyfriend when she was in her teens, and followed her boyfriend foolishly to drive him to go and commit a crime to and fro. She would have to like spend her 20 years or even 20 plus years, depending on when they will grant her parole, in prison for that kind of thing. Can you imagine? Then Erin, what kind of decision? Even she and Charles, her boyfriend, they were planning on eloping when she clocked 17. Assuming she eloped when she was 17, we wouldn't be here talking about her story. At least by now, maybe the love would have cleared from her eyes. Maybe she would have moved on. Maybe she would have gotten married and had her kids. But she, now we are talking about how she mothered her family, and why, for what? For teenage love, or teenage obsessive love? What kind of obsession will make you about love, that will make you do something like that because you want to have control of yourself when you were 16, when you're supposed to be under your parents' tutelage? I don't understand. I don't know why people do these things. I cannot, I don't know. I cannot understand it. No matter how I try to reason it, I don't think I'll ever understand it. Then for Charles Wade, he said he did it because of child support. He wanted to collect the $2,000 and pay for child support. Then for Charles Wilkinson, he was foolishly in love with a manipulator, and now he had to spend the rest of his life in prison. He was 18 when this thing happened. That means he never even got the chance to leave at all. He will be in prison for the rest of his life because of this decision that he made. Erin till this day is still saying that she was deceived, that she didn't know, that they were just discussing it as little children, like as things all those things that she said. She was just saying it, that she didn't mean any of them, that she didn't know that Charles would take it that serious to go and kill her parents, that she didn't mean it that way. Still denying it. Even during her interview with Piers Morgan, she didn't even look so remorseful. Then during her interview with Dr. Yes, Piers Morgan asked her if she's still in love with Charles Wilkinson. It took her time to answer. It took her time to answer that question. And from what I'm seeing, from the length of time it took her to answer that question, I still feel that she may still be in love with him, because he was the first ever serious boyfriend that she had, and the last boyfriend that she had before she went to prison. So it's possible that she's still in love with him. Someone that like annihilated, murdered your whole family, and almost killed your dad. So the thing is just so heartbreaking. The case is heartbreaking. Shocked the whole of that small town, Alba. People were shocked because Erin, they knew that family as a religious family. Nobody expected that kind of thing from her, from that family. Nobody expected, even when they said it was Erin that did this, the father started crying in the hospital, at the hospital. He didn't believe it. And even to this day, the dad still continued saying that it was Charles Wilkinson, who is older than than his daughter with like 2 years, that he was the one that deceived the daughter into doing something like that. I don't think he like fully believed that Erin did this, because he forgave. He said he has forgiven Erin, and even to this day he still visits Erin in prison, and they still maintain a relationship. Though he said it's usually very hard for him to go and visit her, but he said he has forgiven her. Even during the court proceedings, he was the one that like pleaded that those Charles Wilkinson and Charles Wade, that both of them should not be sentenced to death. So he was the one that like pleaded for that, and that Erin should also be sentenced to death. So now Terry, he has gotten married to he has been able to like get married to another woman, and he has one biological child and three adopted children. He's a full-time minister now. He ministers different places, telling stories about this is life story, using it to motivate people and like preach. So, and that is it for that. Even till this day, he still says that he has PTSD of about this thing, that even when he came back from the hospital, or even to this day, that he still sleeps with gun on the table, as in beside his bed, or even strapped. So that he still wakes up in the night like sweating profusely, and maybe after dreaming of what happened that day. And it has been like that So all these days, this is like 17 years after this particular crime happened. So Michael was 13 at the time. Michael, the first boy, was 13 at the time this thing happened. He could have gone on to be 30 this year. Then the other boy, Tyler, would have been 25 now. And maybe they would have gone on to do the good things in their community. They would have gone on to achieve a lot and do good things. But their life was cut short, and Erin now is spending her life in prison. For what? For what? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happens in the minds of people that do these things. But I pray that God continue healing Erin's dad and continue keeping him too. So this is the end of this very heartbreaking story, very devastating, very deep story. So what are your thoughts? Do you think Erin was a mastermind, evil mastermind, or do you think she was deceived by an older boyfriend? What are your thoughts? Please stay safe and stay curious. And please, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please try to subscribe. I still have 12 subscribers. Even after making a whole lot of videos, please subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell so that anytime I post, you'll be able to see it. And also comment, share, like. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay curious. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.